Hello CP Math 2B, this is Mr. Roberts, and I'm going to go over the solutions to the Chapter 5 review, Part 1. So there are two different tests that we'll take for Chapter 5, Part 1 and Part 2, and for each of them you are going to see a review like this given in class. I will record videos like this for each of the reviews, and my hope is by the time you sit down and you go through this and you take the actual test, you're going to be really well prepared and you'll understand exactly what's happening. So the first problem says, use the Pythagorean theorem to find the length of the missing side. Round your answer to 2 decimal places if necessary. So as I look at this first one, right, I can see that I'm given the 2 legs, right, and I'm asked to find the length here, C, labeled as the hypotenuse. So I'll start with 20. Whoops, let me turn off ink to shape there. That's not going to work for me. 25.1 squared plus 6.7 squared equals the length of the hypotenuse, c squared. So in order for me to find the length of c, I'm going to take the square root of each side of this. So c ends up being the square root of this sum, 25.1 squared plus 6.7 squared. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab our calculator here and evaluate this expression. So let me clear that. So I'm just going to bring up the square root template. You can see it's on this button. Here's the number 7, and then up here is x squared. And that right corner there's a square root. So I'm going to hit the square root of, and then I'll enter 25.1, and I'm going to square that number, and then plus 6.7, and I will square that number. So the square root of 25.1 plus squared plus 6.7 squared is 25.97. Now it says round your answer to 2 decimal places if necessary. Okay, so if I'm looking at 2 decimal places, I'm going to look at that third place over, and it's an 8. So therefore I'm going to round the 7 up to an 8. So my answer would be 25.98. And I'll record these as units squared because, not units squared, just units. This is a length. What am I thinking of? So the answer to A is 25.98 units. Let's go to B. On B, I am given the length of one of the legs and the hypotenuse, and I'm asked to find the other leg that's labeled B here. So my equation will be a little different this time. This time I'm going to write 11.4 squared plus B, the thing I'm looking for, squared. So those are leg squared plus leg squared, and that does equal the hypotenuse squared. So if I'm solving for B squared, I'm going to take away 11.4 squared from both sides. So B squared equals 31.5 squared minus the 11.4 squared. And then I'm just going to take the square root of both sides. So I get that it's the square root of 31.5 squared minus 11.4 quantity squared. So let's go ahead and again figure out what B is approximately. So this time I have a difference here. So I'm still going to bring up the square root template. So second square root, and then I'll enter 31.5, and I will square that quantity. And from that I'm going to subtract 11.4, and I will square that. So 31.5 squared minus 11.4 squared gives me that B is approximately 29.36. So B, the length of the the leg, this missing leg, is about 29.36 if I'm rounding to 2 decimal places to the nearest hundredths units. All right, so that's question number 1.